South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol get a lot of wins out of this summit?
Well, on the issue of extended deterrence, this is really a question of reassuring the South Korean public of the reliability of the United States as an ally and of the sort of willingness of the United States to come to the defense of South Korea, even in the event of a serious crisis with the North that may involve nuclear weapons. And I think the so-called Washington Declaration that was issued out of this summit had a lot of substance to it in terms of not only taking the broad idea of extended deterrence, which has always been there, and giving it a little more institutionalization in the form of a sort of a planning dialogue. It's a little bit more advanced than what's been taken place before. It's similar to some of the discussions that the United States has with its allies in NATO, and it involves actually thinking through actual situations, how U.S. forces would be used, how Korean forces would act in that. It also involves more active, visible deployment of sort of nuclear capable systems. That means things like submarines carrying nuclear weapons, strategic bombers that can carry nuclear weapons. And those are, again, meant to signal and reassure mainly the South Koreans that the United States is going to stand by its commitments. And I think that's important and was necessary given the sort of nervousness, which it has been there for a while in Korea. It's not new.
Right. And, regular meetings and really sharing information on nuclear assets and intelligence. I mean, does this, is this enough to appease the conservatives so that they can walk away satisfied after this summit?
Well, there are some conservatives that have been advocating South Korea go nuclear for a long time. They aren't going to be satisfied. And after all, South Korea had an active nuclear weapons development program back in the 1970s when they thought the U.S. was in retreat. And so those who fear the U.S. Won't be there, and I think the presidency of Donald Trump kind of drove that fear a little deeper in the Korean mind. They won't be satisfied, but I think the general Korean public, I think, will have some significant impact. And I think from that point of view, it is maybe the principal takeaway of this summit meeting and this trip to Washington.